that accompanies, you driving the car. So you can send your questions to us on WhatsApp. You can also call into the studio to let us know what you experience with our vehicle. We are live on Facebook on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. We're also on YouTube, Traffic Radio 96.1. So I'm not here alone. I have auto expert with me. Yes, I'm not an auto expert. I'm just a shotgun rider. So without them, yes, there is no AUTOMEDICS. So I'm only making mouths on radio. I'm not a technician, yes, but I can say one or two things, on air. Okay, so I have Tokunbo Adegoju and Karimot Salako in the building. Good morning, ladies. How are you today?
Good morning.
Good morning. There's this way you just say this. Good morning. Okay, so let's begin the show. Let's take your contact details. Different branches you have in Lagos. So, for those who might need your services or who might need to get you for vehicle parts, components, and consumables. So, Karimot.
Good morning. Our locations are Plot 192 Agege Mutor Road off Ilukpeju Bypass beside Crystal Estate, Ilukpeju, Lagos. Number 1 Amule Bus Stop opposite Petrocam Gas Ayobo. Inside Corn Oil Filling Station opposite Correctional Center, Kudirat Abiola Way, Ikeja. Our phone numbers to call are 070-6060-7494, 070-6060-7494, and we have the 080-8080-6686, 080-8080-6686. Our social media handles are Facebook and Instagram at AUTOMEDICS Limited. Our website is www.automedicsafrica.com.
Okay. So you can call into the studio on 09153877127 if you have car issues. Yes, if your car is depleted, if your car is malfunctioning, yes, if it's defected, let's know what the problem is. So lay there, don't be shy. Okay, you can also send that question to us as a WhatsApp message. So we are here live in the studio on Facebook at Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Okay, yes, let's talk some traffic. I've got this one from our traffic managers. Okay, that the earlier reported broken down truck at Loma in was the Dumota was having mechanical fault as been towed off the road. Okay, yes, that's the report. And we have our traffic managers too, well positioned, also ensuring that we have better movement on that stretch. So no cause for worries anymore if you're applying that route. Okay, so we have good movement now from Ijoro Lokpa. It was Idumota Bridge. Okay, so that is that. Let's also see what we have from a live screen. Bolaji Johnson Avenue. It's a breeze all the way, yes, connecting lands. Yes, that's from 7 Up and also on the return journey. Okay, no cause for worries. And on Latif Jakonde, right, it's actually good. Yeah, if you are moving all the way to, if you want to connect Omole end, yes, that stretch is also looking good. And for those who want to connect to Wemco, all right, so we have it good as well. And actually passed through that route this morning, and it was all good. The only issue on that road is just the intersection, so you just have to be cautious as you drive. Please do not be too much in a hurry. We have our traffic managers always positioned there, and also give a right of way to other road users. It's not always about your right. Sometimes you just have to let the sleeping dog lie, or just for peace sake, yes, allow some things to slide. Okay, Lagos Abeokuta Expressway is also looking quite good. We have high influx, connecting Elizig. All right, let's just be cautious. Let's look out for field portions. All right, and just keep it within speed limit. Allows access. We have to have it good. Yes, that's on Lagos Abeokuta Expressway. Allows pedestrian bridge, I beg your pardon. We're connecting the inward section of the corridor. We have it good, and traffic managers are also cited here. Okay, so please, if you've not, if it does allow yes to pass through some areas, then please just please try to cooperate. I can say our traffic managers, actually placing, that cone at some place. Yeah, so please try to cooperate with them. They have the reasons for for doing that. Yeah. Okay, away from that, let's see Ijai Road by. Okay, it's also looking quite good. Impediment is negative as well on this stretch. All right, and also have Penn Cinema. Don't forget, we have lots of activities there. Right, as underneath the bed, we always have yellow buses and the tricycles doing their thing, just to ensure you look out for them, and yes, just leave them their own bit. Yeah, let them do their thing, and just keep your eyes on the road. Okay, yes, AUTOMEDICS on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. If you are the first time on the show, yes, we talk about safe and ensure that your vehicle do not give you any hitch when driving. Out to ensure that your vehicles are well maintained. Your vehicle is always on a tip-top condition every now and then. All right, so we have Tokunbo Adegoju here. I'm talking too much, right? Okay, so now let's get down to business. Now we want to look at you mentioned something and said we're going to discuss it today.
Yes,
that was a promise. So when somebody called yesterday and he was curious, he wanted to know, if it's ideal for him to actually not over inflate though, but he wanted to know if the tires at the front should be higher than the rear, because he believes that that's where the engine, that's where the engine is and all that. So you mentioned something that it depends on the drivetrain of the vehicle. So I want to look at the relationship now between the drivetrain and tire pressure. How does the drivetrain of a vehicle impact the amount of pressure on it or in a tire? Should that be a determinant? Should that determine how I'm going to inflate my tires? The drivetrain. Now you have to remind us to what the drivetrain is.
All right. So we have different types of drivetrain or driveline on the vehicle, and one vehicle will carry only one type of driveline. So we could have a front-wheel drive, a rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive. And if for a front-wheel drive, that's where you have all the power sent to the front wheel, and you have the means of transfer of power also at the front. The engine, the gearboxes at the front, and so at the front of the vehicle, you tend to have more weight at the front of the vehicle. Doesn't mean that the weight is not evenly distributed, but the vehicle tends to take more weight at the front because of the location of the engine and the gear, and also the drive accessories. So if we say that because of this weight, you want to inflate the front tires more than the rear tire, it's really is not something that is ideal. And what I would also say is that you could also tend to load the rear wheels, maybe by putting the rear of the vehicle. If you put some things in the trunk, that means that the vehicle will go lower at the rear as well. So the tire pressure shouldn't be increased because of the weight you have at the vehicle on the front of the vehicle. The reason why there is a specification for this thing is that it's not easy for one to just look using the physical eyes to say, oh, there is more weight at the front, so let me inflate the tire more.
Oh, this car is bigger at the front.
Exactly. And so that's the reason why manufacturers have put all of those things into consideration and say, okay, this is the amount of pressure that should be in the front wheel, and this is the amount of pressure that should be at the rear wheels.
Okay.
And if you notice, when you overload a vehicle, you notice that there is always like more weight on the tire. The tire tends to go like it's low.
Yeah.
And this is why it is recommended that you don't put excess load on the vehicle. So the space that is there for you to put load in the vehicle, that's the trunk. It's already designed for the maximum load that you should take. But for some vehicles that will then load, then the trunk would not be able to close. That's already overloading. And that means that it's going to put a lot of pressure on the tires. So some persons will say, okay, let's inflate the tires more. Then if you inflate the tire more and you start to drive the vehicle on the road, as the vehicle is rolling on the road, there is tendency of the pressure to increase because of increase in temperature. So if the pressure increase, it could cause a blowout. And driving with and then having a blowout is not something anyone wants to experience. So I would always say that just follow the recommended tire pressure put out by the manufacturer. It's always on the driver side door B pillar. Once you open that door on the driver's side, the pillar you would see the sticker for the tire pressure. It indicates the front tires, indicates the rear tires, and also the spare air pressure.
All right, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. So now you're saying that for people, I know it's something that happens, because now I know I want to travel. And I know that I need to load the trunk of my vehicle. I have lots and lots bags of rice and, everything, all the foodstuffs. And you're saying that it's not ideal for me to actually increase the tire pressure.
No, it's not ideal.
At the rear, because I have more load.
It's not ideal.
It's not ideal.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you say about organizers who encourage people to actually, because they will tell you that Nigerian roads are quite deplorable, and that's what they say. That that the tire pressure on the Derby pillar is only for those climbs where the roads are better, where they have sneaky smooth roads, where you don't have issues, with the roads and all that.
One thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ideal to inflict tires. It's because most
beyond
persons,
what you have on the DB.
Yes, most persons don't really know the dangers of having the excess pressure. That's why your technician will tell you, okay, inflate it beyond this, and you will go ahead and do that. Everybody can have access to tire pressure. Maybe the tire pressure gauge. If you have access to it, if you drive your vehicle and you park the vehicle, just immediately you park the vehicle, you can use the tire pressure gauge and check the tire pressure immediately. You will know that the tire pressure would have increased beyond what was in it. That means that there is every tendency. Let's take for instance, if the maximum pressure your tire can take is say 50 or 60, and your organizer says put in 50 psi, and you do that, and this is the tire is bouncing, the vehicle is rolling well, and the road is there won't be blowout, it won't get low. By the time you start to go on high speed, say you're going on say 60, 70 or 80 kilometers per hour, the tire rolls faster on the road. There is a lot of heat generated on the tire. The tire pressure increases. Now, if the maximum tire pressure your tire can take is 60, and the pressure increases beyond 60, what would you expect to happen? The air pressure will want to find a way out. It's just like water.
Yeah.
So that's why the vehicle would have a blowout. And so it's not ideal for one to always try to overinflate tire, because for the road, it does not have effect on the inflation in your tire. Once you have your tire properly inflated, when you get to a rough terrain, you slow down. That's the ideal thing. But people are always in a hurry.
Okay.
When you see people drive on rough terrains, you wonder, do they even care for this vehicle? Because ideally, what you should do is slow down.
Yeah.
Once you slow down, the vehicle would, yes, you would go at a very slow pace, but you won't have so much pressure on your tire. Even your suspension would thank you.
Maybe their tires are new. Yes, that's what I think sometimes, because I'm about to ask you that question, that do new tires blow out? Because sometimes when you see people drive, especially on rough terrains, or where you find speed breakers, you get, and you're trying to slow down, and the vehicle behind you is honking and is telling you, come on, just fly. Yeah, so sometimes I wonder, I ask myself, you see, because me, I don't have new tires, maybe people just their tires. Yes, with new ones, brand new ones. So do new tires blow out? So is this, yes, because some people, that's what the people, they believe, I have new tires on my car, I can drive Jack, Robinson or Rabbit as much as I can. You've got, Tokunbo tires, so that's why you are careful with your tires. So what's your take on that?
Well, new tires also, because I still have a case last week, and a friend was like, I bought new tires 2 weeks ago, and the next week there is a bulge already on the new tire. And I was like, and he said he had to go back to the person that bought it. Like, Shemi, you said it was new tire. Look at it. There is and the person said, maybe the person that test drove the vehicle ran into a pothole, and that was why the tire had a bump. It was like, but this tire is new. You just bought it. So new tires could get blown out as well.
And they could be punctured too.
Yes, definitely. You could buy tire today, and if you drive through maybe area where you have a lot of dirt and there are nails on the floor, you could get it punctured.
Oh,
it doesn't mean that because the tire is new you can't have it punctured.
Maybe that's why people drive that way. Maybe because it's new, and they feel the tires have what do they call it? Yes, they believe the tires, they are immune against, blowing out or, getting punctured and all that. So that's why I'm trying to bring up this topic. So, that should give a kind of directions to people when they drive, rough on the road. Okay, I've got this report coming from our control room. Thank you very much. All right, incident report of a lone accident. It's a flat body truck. It ran off the road into the curb as a result of brake failure. Oh my! And Oriental, it was Sunfield bus stop. It's having positive impact on traffic at the moment. All right, efforts ongoing to put it out while our men on ground managing the situation. Backlog still within Oriental at the moment. Okay, I just pray they're able to pull out this vehicle so that it doesn't extend the backlog. So this is what we discussed on AUTOMEDICS. So we've treated brake failure like forever. Yeah. And anyway, we keep talking about it. Yes, we keep talking about it. All right, reviews on Ikorodu Road. Ikorodu Garage in West Benson is moving steadily. It's better beyond Benson all through to Wodelede. Slow movement on Mile 12 Bridge due to commercial bus activities descending the bridge. Onwards journey, Christopher. En route Ilele is okay, but is slow proceeding to Ikorodu Junction due to pedestrian crossing. Movement towards the interchange on Ojota. Ojota is okay, but is slow connecting New Garage. Good movement on Odoyalaro Bridge down to Independence Tunnel. Approaching Idiroko, it is slow. Onwards journey Anthony all through to Fadeyi is okay aside bus stop activities. It is good descending Domalong Bridge, Ojoelegba Stadium Bridge and Eco Bridge. The return journey is cool and calm. Yes, thank you very much, traffic managers, for this report. I would quite appreciate it. It's quite timely. Okay, the show is AUTOMEDICS on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. We talk about your vehicles on the show, and we also help you resolve your car troubles. So this is another incident report of a brake failing. Yes, I don't know. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we return, the show will continue. Stay here. Those are the tires that you see, in good condition most of the time. I've seen, a container with the inner tires all worn out. So does this have any impact? Does it really matter? Because you see them, they still drive these vehicles. Does it affect the drivability of a car? Does it have anything to do? As long as the outer tires are fine. Now we have 8 tires. Only the 2 tires at both ends are fine. Is it okay?
It's not ideal. The reason why these vehicles carry double tires is because of the weight they carry, the excess weight they carry. And so that's why they need to have more tires to be able to handle the weight on the vehicle. And if one tire goes bad, the ideal thing they should do is to do a replacement. But our culture and practice when it comes to maintenance. So by the time they have one tire bad and it's the inner tire, they just look at it that, okay, the vehicle will still move. Very fine, the vehicle will still move. But on that side of the vehicle, there will be instability.
Okay.
And so by the time the vehicle starts to move and there is one form of maybe that is the unstable road or unstable terrain, then you see that's when most of them try to, then they have this flip over, especially for the ones that carry excess load. And so that's why it's ideal for them to have all the tires in good condition to make the vehicle stable on the road and have a good grip on the road surface.
All right, so it's better to have all tires, in good condition. So please do not overlook any of the tires. If you drive an articulated vehicle or someone who drives any of these high capacity vehicles, please do encourage them to make sure all tires are okay so they can maintain that balance on the road. So that's why a lot of them, they kind of, they topple over. Some of them, some of them, when you see them driving, they're always bent to one side. It's just about because of these tires. All right, the Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Yes, good movement in and out of Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Generally, Ojodu Berger is cool and calm. Impediment is negative, and we have officials on ground. All right, thank you very much for this heads up. Questions coming in now. All right, I've got this one. It says, good thanks for your response yesterday regarding the above mentioned issue. Okay, with my gear. It says, I went for scanning as advised, but no report showed. Okay, it was discovered that the gear oil is low and dirty. That's why it's causing skipping or skipping. Okay, so it now says the car is 2004 Camry. Can I go for oil change or I should top it? The gear is 10 pins. So, Tokunbo Adegoju, over to you here. It's about gear now.
When you said, you already mentioned that the oil is low.
Question that they says that Jack's
I do remember.
Okay.
I do remember. So he said that the oil is low and dirty. I wouldn't advise that you should do a top up. I wouldn't advise you should do a top up. Oh, Karimot, what do you think?
Yeah, I would advise you should do a transmission service. Since they said it's low and dirty, you should do a transmission service.
A lot of people are afraid of doing service on their transmission.
We've spoken about how to carry out transmission service.
I tell you, yeah. I've met quite a number of people.
Yes,
they don't want anything. They don't want anybody to touch their transmission.
I know.
So go to a specialized service center that you can fully trust. That's my advice.
Okay.
If you know you're skeptical about giving any other person, go to a specialized service center. So they carry out the transmission service for you.
Okay.
They know how to go about it. They'll clean the filter, change the filter depending on how dirty it is. They'll change the filter for you or probably do a clean. But make sure you carry out the transmission service. Do not top your oil. We've spoken about toppings before that is not advisable to top oil or water, fluid, anything in the vehicle. So it's best you carry out a transmission service on your transmission. Then afterwards, you see how it works.
Okay, I've come across someone who has used this transmission to the point of when they say you use something to grind. You use something and you notice that the transmission is burnt, the oil is smelling burnt, it's brownish. Would you still advise the same?
Okay, in this case now, the transmission fluid is.
It's not the case of the sender of his question.
Yes, I get.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Yes, that the transmission is, there is a lot of wear and tear in transmission, and transmission is burnt. For this case, I wouldn't recommend the transmission service. No, because the damage is already done in the gearbox.
Okay.
As long as the gear is still moving, I'll just advise the person start saving up for gearbox.
And be topping up the oil.
There's no need to. The oil will not go low because there's a lot of.
Oh really? Yeah. It won't go low.
No.
Wow.
Now, if the only thing doubt because the oil to go low could be a leak. And so if the transmission fluid is very dirty and is burnt, I'll just advise the person to continue to drive. And if it's low, just top up. Don't do a replacement, because if you do a replacement, there's every possibility the gear does not even shift anymore because of the damage that is already in the gearbox. And that's why most persons are always skeptical of saying they want to do transmission service. If you're already experiencing problem with the transmission, if you do a transmission service, it may become worse.
Wow.
It may become worse.
Okay.
We're not saying that it will. It may.
May.
Yes. So that's why it is best for you to do your transmission service in due time.
Okay.
Don't wait for you to start experience problem with the gearbox before you do a transmission service. Once there is a problem already on the gearbox, there's every tendency for you to have the gearbox back up after a transmission service. But for this case of this person, the low fluid is what is causing the problem. And that's why it's best for the person to just quickly do a transmission service to salvage the situation.
All right, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. There's a lone accident of a flat body truck that ran off the road into the curb as a result of brake failure at Oriental in Wasanfi bus stop. It's having a positive impact on traffic at the moment. Effort is on to take it out while we have our men on ground doing the needful. All right, the backlog is still within Oriental at the moment, so traffic managers, I need you to keep me posted. Let's know what the situation is now. All right, on my 12 axis, Loma workers on duty at my 12 road in was K2 on the main carriageway. Okay, Loma workers on duty. All right, so officers on ground during the needful. So if you're trying to connect K2 from my 12, you just have to be patient and look out for these workers. All right, so you know what Loma, does. You just have to be cautious as you drive too. Okay, so let's take more questions. Okay, you're listening. I hope you got that. Okay, now this question. Hyundai Ascent 2015. It says, I washed the engine. Let me call the numbers. 09153877127. That number is for voice call. 09153877127. If you want to send a message on WhatsApp, we have 00991207777. 009912077. Okay. Hyundai Ascent 2015. I washed the engine and water spoiled the brain box. The brain box was replaced, but the engine is not accelerating well. The injector mouth is not opening. Please, what should I do? Okay, we've got fault code P0 P322. P322 P2222. That's 2 in 4 places. And we also have P0. Trying to see this one. P0171. Yeah, I think I got that. P0171. So, Tokunbo, I hope you got the question.
Yeah, I was able to pick the question.
Okay. So the criticals, we'll see how we're going to.
Now, my question is, it says water entered the brain box. Has it been replaced?
I don't know.
Because if there is water in the ECU, then some of these things will not work. And the first fault code P2222.
Yeah, 2 in 4 places.
Really?
What kind of code is it?
I'm not sure that vehicle used this type of thing, so.
Okay.
That's why I'm actually asking if it's real. Because yes, we have oxides of nitrogen in the vehicle, in the engine being generated, but most vehicle I don't really say I've come across any vehicle that uses the oxides of nitrogen sensor. So there is every likelihood that it's a wrong code.
It's a wrong code, right?
Yes, and so for P0171, that's more of a system 2 lane fault code.
System 2 lane.
Okay.
Do you have it, Karimot?
Yeah, I do. It says system 2 lane bank 1. So.
Okay, if the vehicle is having system 2 lane, you always mentioned that the throttle body is not opening, and so one thing I would advise you should do is first they should do a replacement on the brain box. Water got into it while washing, so replacement should be done. Or you might not have to replace the brain box. It could just be that they need to dry out the connector. If the water didn't get into the ECU itself, maybe it's just on the connector. If water didn't get into the ECU, maybe to where we have the circuits and the diodes and the likes, then it can just dry out the connector and see if it powers. But if not, a replacement will need to be done on the ECU, and that should resolve, because the throttle body takes a feed from the ECU, and so if the ECU is not doing its job, the throttle body signal might not get to the ECU, and so the vehicle may not rev. So it's best for this person to do, maybe try out the ECU first, test it and see if it works. If it doesn't, then a replacement needs to be done.
Okay. Incident report from Apapa. Broken down loaded truck opposite port and cargo. It was my two with shaft problem. Owners making efforts to fix it and officers on ground. Right. So please be on the lookout for this truck there. Yeah, I believe it's parked on one side of the road while the owner gets it fixed. But then please be cautious as you drive. So why are we getting all of these incident reports this morning? So that's why we always encourage you on AUTOMEDICS to ensure that you do all the checks on your vehicles, before you drive that vehicle. Yes, and you know that you need to carry out regular service on your car so that it doesn't break down on you. Yes, that's why we're always advocating, for regular maintenance. It's not daily, it's something, as okay, you must have, fix the time to always check your car, just so that it doesn't, it gets you in a fix. Right, so don't forget, My 12 also, we have Loma walking on My 12 road in was kid, so and it's on the main carriageway. So you need to be cautious as you're driving. Okay, and we also have a loan report to a loan accident of a flat body truck, that at Victoria Island. Okay, that's at Oriental. It was Sanfield. That's Victoria Island. So it's having an impact on traffic. So traffic managers, I would like that you keep me posted. What's the current situation right now, as the backlog extended beyond Oriental at the moment, so we can, help motorists plan the journey better. Encouraging Araju was Benson is moving steadily. We have better movement beyond Benson, all through to Woody Lide. It's slow on My 12 bridge due to commercial bus activities. Descending the bridge almost Johnny Fair on route Ilele is cool, but slow proceeding to Ikorodu Junction due to pedestrians crossing. Movement towards the interchange or Jota is okay, but it's slow connecting New Gara. Movement on Odoyala Bridge down to Independence Tunnel. Approaching Ejiroko, it is slow. Almost Johnny Anthony all through to Fadi is okay. Side bus stop activities, it is also good. Ascending Dormalon Bridge, Ojoelegba Stadium and Eko Bridge. The return journey is calm as well. All right, thank you very much. And do not forget that the earlier reported broken down truck at Loma in Dumota, which was having mechanical fault, has been taken off the road, and we have a better movement on that stretch. Thank you. Okay, so now back to AUTOMEDICS. Yes, we'll talk about cars. We'll help you resolve those issues that affect, the performance of that car. So we have Tokunbo Adegoju and Karimot in the building helping us with this. This one says V8 fuel pump. I use a V8 fuel pump. It says I just wanted to add that the vehicle rests very well. I just wanted to say the vehicle rests very well and it gets to its optimum RPM, but when moving, it doesn't go beyond 120 kilometer. I think we've treated something like this in the past. Mm-hmm. Yes, it doesn't move beyond 120 kilometer.
What's the person looking for? That's 120.
Yeah, people. That's what we say here. We keep saying it. We will keep saying it. Because some people think. Okay, so scared. Yeah, because if you're not scared of yourself or for yourself, you should be scared for others. Yes, because you don't know the driving capability of other road users. You don't even know their level of sanity. You don't know their level of experience. Yeah, so just assume you are the only sane person driving on the road. That's exactly. That's the way to go.
Mm-hmm. And so the vehicle does not rev behind. What's the make of the vehicle again?
You didn't say. You just said V8.
It uses a V8 fuel pump.
Yes.
I need to know the year of the vehicle. I mean the make of the vehicle, because if the vehicle is using a V8 fuel pump,
yes,
it's definitely not a V8 engine. From what's from all indication, it could be a V6 vehicle, a vehicle with a V6 engine.
Okay.
Which has the fuel pump of a V8 installed in it just to increase the pressure. But if you increase the fuel pump pressure, it's yes, the output of the vehicle of the engine could increase, but doesn't mean that the engine's horsepower is going to increase beyond what it has been designed for. All you just have is that the engine tends to have more fuel, which means it's possible for you to consume fuel at this rate. And if the vehicle is not revving beyond what you want, most times you want to check the components that designed for power output, which is basically the spark plug. The fuel, yes, could be, if you don't have adequate fuel, yes, it could cause it. But for you to have this kind of fuel pump, you should have fuel supply. What you want to check will be the spark plugs. If the spark plugs are not in good condition, or they are not, they are fouled, or they leaking, it will cause the vehicle's power to be reduced.
Okay. This person says, I cannot really understand the question, but I believe you should. It says it drives an Elantra. It says it has sludge and dirt in the oil control valve filter.
Okay.
Wait, do you get that?
Yes, I do.
You understand?
Yes, and so if the oil control valve, which most manufacturers call the VVT solenoid,
Okay.
if it has sludge and dirt in it, it's best for you to clean it and then test it to see if it's actuating. If it's actuating, you can reinstall it. If after cleaning and it's not actuating, then it's not going to work and it's not going to do its job of retarding on advance and the timing. So what I would advise you do is, after you're done cleaning, test it. If it's working fine, then reinstall it. If it's not working fine, if testing, then do a replacement.
All right. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. You can call us in the studio to tell us, Labia, what bothers you. Yes, regarding that car. You can call us on 091-538-77127 or send a message to us on WhatsApp on 00991207777. Sita Hambra 2002 model. This person says is experiencing oil shortage. He uses 5W30, 4 liters. I end up topping with 2 liters before the next service every time. Before the next service, 2 liters. That's a lot.
So you said he tops his oil for 2 liters before the next service. Wow.
That's a wow. It's a wow. You know how much engine oil is
from
now?
What the person said now, it's a 2002 vehicle
2002.
using
Yes.
a 5W30.
Yes.
It's expected for the oil to get short. Yes, it's 2002. The engine is old, and so if the person is using a 5W30,
What if the person has been maintaining the vehicle very well?
and no matter how much maintenance you do,
See,
or
Dr.
this-
Pulet says, he tells us on this show that he has a vehicle that he's been driving for over 30 years. Don't worry, I'll remind him when he comes.
what I'm telling you is that the oil will short. It's 5W30.
It's more short.
I'm not saying it more short, but it will short at a point. Because the engine is already having a lot of wear in it. We can't deceive ourselves. The engine is old, and so the oil is going to short due to the fact that it is the oil is less viscous, and so it's going to burn out quickly. And that's why the person is using 2 liters.
2 liters.
That's much. That's a lot.
Tokunbo.
That's a lot.
Even if it's shorting.
So the first thing I would advise this person to do is check to see if you have leaks around the engine. If you don't have leaks around the engine, then you need to change your oil spec. That's upgrade the oil to something thicker. It's best for you to do a replacement on the engine. But my question is, would you find a replacement engine of that year that would not short again? So the only thing you can do is maybe do an overhaul. If it does an engine overhaul, that should improve the conditions of the components inside the engine, and it can now continue with the 5W30. But if he is yet to do an overhaul, he should just upgrade the oil spec to something more thicker.
Okay. Now the next question. It says, good morning, AUTOMEDICS, and Merry Christmas in advance. Please, I use a Chevrolet Lacetti GM Daewoo 2006.
Okay.
Did you get the model of the car? It's 2006. They say I said 2024. My coolants always go down. I'm trying to make. I have kept water in my car. We checked for leakage and found none. I removed my radiator for cleaning, still the same. I even changed radiator cover. Now my mechanic suggests I top up the gasket. So just top gasket is flat. Okay, please enlighten me on this.
Okay, so the changing, was it doing it himself? Because it sounded like he was one removing it.
It was a mechanic.
Okay, it was a mechanic. Okay, first off, what you should have done is to do a pressure test to know where exactly is leaking from. We've spoken about leaks, coolant leaks. We said coolant leaks could be internal or external. Since you were not able to see anything internal, definitely the leaks is external. So your technician can be right and he may not be, but the thing is we advise you do a pressure test, a coolant pressure test, to be sure where exactly is leaking.
Because most times head gasket damage, it's not like head gasket cannot wear. Yes, age can tell on the head gasket and it could wear out and cause coolant to leak into the combustion chamber. But overheating could also cause the head gasket to go bad. Now, the reason why we don't always say you should go ahead and do a replacement on the head gasket when you're experiencing loss of coolant is that most persons don't see the leak if you use water, because the water is going to dry out when you are driving because of the heat in the hood.
Okay.
So that's why it's always difficult for you to find the leak. But what you can do is, if you can't do a cooling system pressure test, as she has said, you can use coolant. So just put coolant in the radiator this time and see if you're going to see the traces of the coolant around the areas of the cooling system.
Okay.
And please don't forget that the hoses, there are two hoses that go from the engine into the heater core on the firewall. You want to focus your attention on that area as well.
Okay. Okay, let's take this question. It says that I drive Toyota Corolla 2003. Yeah, okay, now let me take this one first. This person says, where is Dr. Kunde? I want him to buy me Honda Accord. Now I'm reading out this message so that you can cascade the message to him. I want him to buy me Honda Accord 2018 as Christmas gift. God bless him. Okay, now I've forwarded the message to the experts here. So don't worry, Dr. Kunde will send your car.
I'll deliver his
Please
message.
do. Please do. So, Toyota Corolla 2003. We're almost out of time. Like a month now, I just bought a used rack and I just discovered that the rack is wet. What is the problem and the possible solution?
All right, there's a leak around the rack. That's why the rack being wet. So the power steering fluid is leaking on the rack. It could be a bad seal. It could also be that you have the connection from the pressure hoses to the rack is maybe it's not properly connected, or there is a loose end somewhere. That could cause the rack to get around, and so it's transmission it's power steering fluid that is wet on the rack. And so checking to see what seal had gone bad or the connection would help you to know what to do to replace and solve the problem.
All right, let me quickly reiterate some of these reports I have here. We have an incident report of a broken down loaded truck opposite Port and Cargo in Warismai 2 with shaft problem. Yes, the owner is making efforts to fix it, and we also have officers on ground too, ensuring the sanity on that stretch. And on May 12, we have Loma workers on duty in K2 on the main carriageway. So please look out for this. Yes, it's all for good. So please ensure you keep it within speed limit. On Victoria Island, we also have a lone accident of a flat body truck that ran off the road into the curb, and that's as a result of brake failure. That's as Oriental in Wasan Few bus stop. It's having an impact on traffic. So traffic managers, I hope that you help us manage this situation as much as you can. All right. And also on Ikorodu Road, we have Ikorodu Garage and once Benson moving expectedly. It's better Benson, also Suwode Lede, slow on my 12 bridge due to commercial activities and descending the bridge. Almost running Kosofe on Rosilele is good, but proceeding to Ikorodi Junction due to pedestrian crossing, it is movement and was in General Jota, it's okay, but it's still connecting new garage. Connecting new garage, right? It's no. Okay, and it's good on the Alaro Bridge down to Independence Tunnel. Approaching the Jiroko, it's a slow moving traffic. Almost running Anthony also to Fadeye is okay aside activities. It's good ascending Domalam Bridge, Ojoelegba Bridge Stadium, and Eko Bridge. Thank you, traffic managers. All right, this brings us to the end of today's edition of AUTOMEDICS. Thank you very much, traffic managers, for being part of the show today, and giving us a timely and accurate traffic report. Thank you very much. I will say a very big thank you to Tokunbo Adegoju and Karimot Salako, yes, for blazing the trail in the automotive sector. Thank you for doing a good job. We also have an intern in the building with us. We have Idara Kufre. Thank you very much for joining us. And to our social media team, thank you, Remy Aluko. Thank you so much for doing a good job. Look at the phone line is buzzing. It's buzzing, and we are out of this. We are out of the studio already. Don't bother calling us. Call us tomorrow. All right, big ups to Victor, and the executive producer is Taya Kole. My name remains Aderonke Irewole. Join you again tomorrow, 11 o'clock through 11:55. Thank you.